It's kind of cool, man, that I ain't seen you since I beat your ass in the use of sock sniper comp.
We might need to check that because I looked it up to make sure that I wouldn't be on the brunt of this.
Oh, you might have beat me in that one.
I did beat you in that one.
Well, that's the one where I had that young staff sergeant.
No, you walked into it.
I think we did 12th. We did 12th that year.
We got 6. From first to, I want to say like 10th, there was
a couple
13 point separation or something like that. That's the year
total.
Andy and Tyler won it.
Yes. Yeah. And that
literally
you didn't shoot it the year before.
I didn't shoot it the year before. I shot it the 2 years prior. So
I shot it the year before and kicked some ass. That's when it was hard.
Because I heard you were showing up. That's why I didn't shoot it that year. It's like, Mike's going.
I can't show. Damn, we did get our asses handed to us. But at least we beat the SEALs.
They didn't have a good showing that year. They never really do. Yeah, they never really do.
During the loophole stage, the guy literally came to me and said, "You guys got what's this loophole formula?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, so do you have a Kestrel?" I was like, "What's a Kestrel?"
You should get Stump and Carl on the phone like right now.
I know.
And just be like, "Hey, we're talking trash about you."
They're going to know soon. You were, I mean, would you say that the majority of your career, like if you define your career, do you go, "Yeah, I was a Green Beret," or do you go like, "I was a sniper"? Like I remember you as being a sniper because you were.
Well, I went to SIFSIC really early on in my career. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was like identified or we just had an open slot and they sent me down there and did well. And I kind of hung in that arena for all of my time on the white side. That was kind of my gig. And I really enjoyed the craft, man. I like the ballistician side of it, like that, all the physics behind it is fascinating. And so I kind of really gleaned to that. And the technology on that side of the house is it's growing so quickly. I was just attracted to that.
Yeah.
I would say a sniper.
And you were a JTAC too, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to SOTAC?
I went to NTAC. I went to the one out in Fallon. We actually.
Oh, that's the legitimate one.
Yeah.
SOTAC's more ECAS based.
Yeah. From what I understand, I went to
SOTAC.
The one in Fallon, they actually used the Top Gun pilots. Top Gun's actually in Fallon, Nevada, for those that don't know. But we used those guys for CAS, and that was a really cool experience for me, getting to debrief those guys after the fact on all of our live calls and whatnot. It was really cool. So,
were you a sniper at the time?
I was.
Yeah. So when we did that, I mean, I can't remember what year I went to SOTAC. I went to SOTAC because I might have failed. I failed the shoot-in for sniper school.
What year was that?
That was when they went and they said you had to shoot 3 out of 5 groups, 62 grain green tip.
Yeah.
And
iron sights.
We did it, and it was early morning, and I was already in the SIF. I was an assaulter for 2 years and a breacher, and they said you got to shoot in, and I said, "Well, I can't really see." And like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Like, I can't see the target." I'm like, "Whatever, shoot it." And I only got 2 groups out of 5. You had to get 3 out of 5.
Right.
And you had to put them into the circle, which I think is like a 1.5 inch circle.
Yeah, I think it was 1 inch. It was
1 inch circle at 25 meters, which isn't impossible, but it's not easy.
Right.
And I failed it. And my team sergeant was like, "You're one of the best shooters on the team. Like, what are you talking about? You failed it." I'm like, "I don't know." I went to the optometrist that day and found out my left eye was 20/40.
That's no bueno.
And I'm like, "Oh, that might be a problem." And so I got glasses and shot in the next time and had like 20/10 laser focus vision.
Of course.
And smoked everybody's ass.
Yeah.
I actually got top shooter in sniper school.
No kidding.
We got top team because they did the shooter aggregate. Yeah. We got top team and found out I was blind, man. And but they sent me to SOTAC, and I know I was one of the first snipers that went because the justification for the SIF companies were if a dude's sitting in a hide site, instead of adding a combat controller who's not a gun, really, I mean, they're guns, but we could have a sniper who's JTAC certified.
Huge force multiplier.
Yeah.
Huge.
You had to be one of the first ones because I think that's time.
Yeah, well, we kind of, they had just rewritten the charter for the CRIFs we had the CRIF conference down there at the ATF.
Yep.
And that's where the discussion kind of originated. And then
Aberdeen training facility for you guys who are like, you guys were communicating with the ATF?
Nope, we weren't doing that.
No, not at all.
No. But I think Jimmy, who was my troop sergeant major at the time, Jimmy Adams, and it was kind of his idea. And he's like, hey, man, why don't we do this? I mean, we would always get a portion JTACs from, some Air Force unit or whatnot, but it's like, why don't we have those internal? It's just such a good force multiplier. So yeah, it was. I was honored, and after that, we started sending guys on the regular. So yes.
So did you think that was difficult? I thought it kicked my ass.
I think the hardest part was memorizing the ordnance and the capabilities.
Yeah,
that was kind of, and that's the weaponry. I think is what the actual term that the pilots use.
Because it's all new to us.
Yeah, man. But I don't know. Put the bomb here.
Yeah.
Make that go away.
Yeah,
that would help us out tremendously.
How many weeks was that when you went through?
I want to say it was 4 or 5. 5 weeks. 5 weeks in Fallon. Yeah.
Yeah. SOTAC was only 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was basically ECAS. It was what the guys used for a train up prior to going to that course where they got their certification.
I got you.
So me and you go way back, and you had time in the Army like I did. I went in the Army in 97.
Yeah.
And so we have similar-esque careers because our careers sunk up in selection for us, and then also the Q course. Our Q course dates, because our MOSs were different, were off on. But then the time of service in war and the Global War on Terror was essentially the same time period. Right. We did similar-esque things, and you an A15.
Well, initially I was on Whiteside. I was 2nd Battalion, 5th group, and Alpha Company, and we were in Baghdad. That was our AO. We had the commandos when the SIFs at the time. The SIFs had ICTF, and so we were kind of the support element. I kind of equate it to the National Mission Force for Iraq, and then the Ranger Regiment to Iraq being the commandos. It's kind of how I break it out to people, and kind of used in a similar role as well. So setting up, not to get into TTPs or anything, but from a strategic standpoint, they were similar use those units the same way.
Yeah. So. And you did a couple of rotations with them. Yeah. And then you went over to A15.
Well, I got to A15 after I was an instructor down at our SOTIC at 5th group. So I did that for 3 years. And that's where I really took from the operational side and kind of started getting into the technical side of long range shooting, which opened up a lot of doors. Shot on the civilian side, shooting competitions, just gleaned massive amounts of information from shooting from those competitions. Like the best shooters that I consider in the world, long gun, are 2 farmers from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And just wealth of knowledge and experience, and all of that stuff we brought back to the course, and we took that kind of archaic POI and just broadened it out, and added the technology that was out there. And that's when the Kestrel came out, and we started going to Todd's and all those things. So I'm really, I guess, to be perfectly honest, I'm most proud of my time there, but just because of the capability it brought to the force. I feel like that we did a really good job in the group of guys that I worked with.
Evolving your specific unit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's really what it's all about.
Were you running the level 2s?
Yeah.
So level 2 for you guys and gals who are listening to this, like SIFSIC or SOTIC, Special Operations Tactical Interdiction course, or the Special Forces Sniper course as it's called today, it makes you a level 1 sniper, and there's certain prerequisites, training, and then things that it allows you to do. And then you have the level 2s, which basically is getting guys dialed in to being designated marksmen, spotters potentially for snipers, or shooters potentially for spotters, which helped increase the force's capability. And he did that instruction for 3 years at being in that role. Yeah. You get to the tail end of your career, and I'm kind of short stroking, as I do every day.
Hey-o. I see what you did there.
I'm Asian from the waist down.
Hey, I'm with you, dude. I got you.
Half Asian, man. or sub-Saharan African from the waist down. Apparently, I'm sub-Saharan.
Is that the new
African.
thing?
That is, because everybody apparently has sub-Saharan African in them.
I like that.
So I'm like, I know exactly where my sub-Saharan is, and it's not my feet.
It makes you sound more important.
It does.
Sub-Saharan.
Yeah, but you sound fancy.
Whew. Imagine walking into a
Yeah.
party and saying that.
Yeah. They're like, are you Saharan? I'm like, I'm actually sub-Saharan.
How did you know that?
Man.
See all the stuff
This
we
is a
know,
good
Mike?
podcast.
We know all the stuff. We're so smart.
Oh, so smart. I want to gleam over the military career because there's so much more impactful stuff to talk about post-military. But you had a good run. You did a lot of the combat. How many rotations did you get out of war?
Did 8. So 2 to Afghanistan, 6 to Iraq, and then multiple in that theater, you know, as we all do. I wouldn't necessarily call them combat rotations, but there's always the implication and the
problem places.
Secondary, tertiary kind of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good run.
Yeah, it is, man.
And then we hit it in the prime time, I would say, like we got the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody who was in that period of time at USASOC, working with task force, working with the SIF, working with regiment, whatever it was, got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's kind of like we talked about last night. It'll never be done that way again, ever. You know. Yeah.
A lot of that history is reference to Stanley McChrystal's task force and the action arms, entities, and the gloves coming off and going, "Hey, we're going to war. We could win this, but we have to do it by a war of attrition," which meant we were operating at the speed of war, killing and capturing a lot of bad guys.
Right.
Yeah. And if we didn't do that strategy and those tactics, we would have lost the whole entire conflict. So, yeah, good for them.
It was super apparent when that shift happened on our end. You know, it was a direct effect on the end user.
How did you fare through that experience with your family?
That was tough, man. You know, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know, that experience, it kind of, I want to say it kind of made me sick, for lack of a better term. You know, it was really difficult to deal with as far as being present on that side, because you're constantly thinking about or preparing to go back, you know, and you get caught in that mindset and you get stuck there. And I feel like that's kind of what happened to guys back then. And it's still thousands and thousands of our brothers out there that are suffering from that, you know? It changes people, man, you know?
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir.
I always talk about the analogy of thinking about it as like dogs of war. And you could train up a dog to go to war and bite people and do what it does, but you have to have an expectation that when it comes home, you just can't throw that dog on the couch and have it around your family and expect everything to be okay. There's going to be conditional thing. Like people go, where was the trauma? What was the incident? What happened? And it's never post-traumatic stress based off of one event.
Right.
It's an accumulation of conditioning that changes a person.
Yeah.
And when you try to take that person and simulate them into a sovereign, free, and often passive society, you're going to see some things kind of float to the surface.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, we both got brothers that have had their legal troubles after it's separation from the tribe. You can't tell me any different. You know, when you're separated from the tribe, at that point, you isolate, you're alone with your thoughts, and that's your new normal, and you grow comfortable there. And that's when things get dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
Get scary.
Yeah. And you're essentially, I equate it to walking around dead. That's what I refer to the time when I was suffering through that. It was like I was essentially walking around dead. I didn't care. I didn't care about ramifications of my actions. I didn't care about, you know, I was incapable of caring because I had lost that. I'd left all that stuff downrange, you know. I'd left all those capabilities are slowly chipped away each time you go over there. That's kind of how I look at it. I really like the dog analogy too, though. That's a really good way to put it, where I think people could understand that. You know?
Yeah, the Walking Dead one's a good one too, because you become more primal,
100%.
And you just start reverting back to primal instincts and emotion and coping mechanisms, and all your normal civil psychology kind of goes to the wayside because you're worried about living.
Yeah, you're searching for happiness, and it's like putting it through a sieve. It's just falling through. You're no longer a vessel that can experience joy, experience happiness, experience love, and that was my personal experience. I don't know how to really put it into words, but I mean that's kind of close to where I was. I mean, I was nothing.
So you bottomed out. I'm assuming there was probably some traumatic events that you could probably literally recollect of you being at the very bottom, but somehow you kind of got out of that, right? You hit the bottom and then you start working yourself up out of it. Right. What was it that the commonality amongst us all is there's a bottom,
right?
But I'm more interested in what pulled you out of that. What was it that allowed you to kind of start scratching your way to the surface?
Well, so I'd tried. I'd been to inpatient rehab. I'd been to outpatient rehab. I was going to meetings, all of those things, but it wasn't. In the end, this is looking back, hindsight. I wasn't addicted to a substance. I was addicted to that brief period where I didn't have to think about that stuff, where I didn't have to experience that stuff unwillingly. I didn't have intrusive thoughts. That's what I was addicted to. It's that false sense of happiness. That was chasing that. I tried everything, and I'd started researching. I don't know, this might get a little controversial, but I was researching psychedelic therapy, and I'd been researching it for about a year. And Jimmy again called, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to go do this," because we share a love and a bond between our brothers that is unbreakable, and no matter what happens, you always, there's those chosen few that always have your back, and Jimmy's been that for me. And he's like, "I want you to go do this, man." And I was like, it's funny you say that because I've been looking into it. And so I linked up with Mission Within and went down to Mexico and did the experience and whatnot. And it took all of that off of me. It's gone. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how it works, but it just took it off. Like I no longer have to think that way. It reset my fight or flight. That's the best way I can explain it. It took all those things away, and I'm able to live my life fully now. I'm able to be present. I'm able to love my family and my friends, like truly love them, man. It saved my life, like absolutely saved my life, bro, and changed it. And my life did a 180 after that.
Was it peyote or was it psilocybin?
My experience was ibogaine was the first administered substance, and then there's a day or two of recovery in there because that's a big one. It's apparently the most powerful one known to man, and I can attest to that. And then on the last day we did 5-MeO DMT, and that. So I equate it to, I say ibogaine took the old bandage off, debriefed the wound, put in medicine, and put a new bandage on. And then when I did 5-MeO DMT, it just took it all away. It completely.
Yeah. I've done the latter.
Yeah.
And part of the process is there's associative characteristics of experiences and trauma and how it correlates to a recollection of a memory and then a physical reaction.
Right.
It's a similar thing when you get conditioned because you walk in the high desert and you're used to coming across snakes. So you have a physiological response based on that recollection. And you could walk across a rock that you think is a snake and your body reacts the same. Yeah. And those things like psilocybin, DMT, they essentially recreate an alternate neural pathway, an alternate course of action, an alternate path. And takes that old connection, kind of breaks. It doesn't break the synapses. It's a bad way of saying it. It more flanks the synapses or the connection and gives you alternate routes, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would have put it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. I had no idea. Which it fixed my brain, Mike. That's what
it fixed my stuff.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff and it fixed it.
I had stuff up there, now it's gone.
No, I think it's awesome. I think it's fascinating because it used to be controversial. I don't think it's controversial anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of organizations out there that are promoting it and funding research and stuff. And I recommend it to everybody that I recognize that is going through that stuff. You know? And some guys hide it well, man. And those are the phone calls you get. And it's like, what?
I can look in people's eyes and go,
they wear it.
Yeah, they do.
They wear
and it's weird because I think we have the optic to be able to see through that because we could see pain. Yeah. And it's the same. I mean, I think we could see the pain because we've been so close to recognizing the patterns.
Well, that was your normal at one time.
That was your normal. Yeah. That's right.
You
your baseline.
It's familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Well, I'm glad you bounced back out of that. And now you're remarried.
Yes.
Wonderful family. Got the Brady Bunch going on.
Incredible family.
Erica, who is an amazing woman, is your now spouse.
Yeah. She's and she had a large part in me turning everything around as well. I don't want to take I can't take all the credit. She obviously had a large part in that. I essentially I had a choice, man. And not to bring faith into it, but my uncle had passed and we went and cleaned out his apartment. And I was like, that could be me in 10 years.
Yeah.
With nothing.
But what's left in boxes in your apartment.
Yeah, man. And I didn't want that, and it was just, God's like, you can have that or you can have the rest of your life living
the hottest woman in Kentucky.
And I would say in the States, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
like all the states, like 50 of them?
All 50.
Well, the lower 48.
I won, bro.
Have you been to Hawaii? Or to Alaska?
We need to do a class in Hawaii. Eskimos.
I've done a couple classes.
If we do a class in Hawaii, if we do another one.
Yeah. It's like, Mike, we went negative 10,000 on that class. I'm not sure what happened, but there was a retreat, spa.
Something about a catamaran.
A catamaran.
It was weird.
Yeah. We could do that. We could arrange that. Erica, what's Erica's background?
Generally just awesome. So she's
from Camp Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Camp Awesome Sauce.
She is.
No, she really is. So Erica is the current Mrs. Kentucky, and she's kind of. So my buddy calls me. He's like, "Hey, are you single?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm single. I've been single for a while. It was kind of taking some time working on myself."
The way you said that.
No. It was healthy. It was healthy single. No, it was healthy single. I was working on myself.
Yeah.
I was trying to get happy with myself.
Yeah.
Anyway. I know where your mind went.
It went there.
I know it did.
I know. Sorry. It was there.
But he's like, "Are you single?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been single." He's like, "Well, I want you to meet somebody." He's like, "Now I'm going to tell you up front. She's kind of high maintenance. She was Miss Kentucky at that time." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Whatever. I'm not scared." So we started talking over the phone for a little bit, and she showed up to my son Wyatt's baseball tournament, and that day I knew. I was just like, "Yeah, that's the one."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty incredible. I'm blessed beyond what I deserve, man. I'm glad that I'm able to live this life, and coming from the place that I was in, where I didn't care if I woke up the next day or not. To be here is just, I'm so grateful for all the things that I've been blessed with, man, since my life has turned around, to include being part of this organization.
Yeah.
And I told you that last night. I'm so proud of you, and so
thank you, man.
So happy to see what this organization does for our communities, for our clients. It's super fulfilling. It's my new job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so fulfilling to at the end of the class to have these people come up and just, thank you and be sincere. It's not show business. It's not, we're giving you confidence and time in a bad situation. I hope people never have to use any of the stuff that we talk about, but just to see the gratitude at the end of the classes and have repeat clients come back and say, hey, when's your next class? I want to come. It's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Truly is.
It's been an amazing experience. Like I told the guys before, I mean, a lot of people, I don't want people to affiliate or associate me being FieldCraft. I want people to associate as you guys being FieldCraft, because you guys are the reason FieldCraft is so successful, but also what FieldCraft stands for, which is like we did in special operations when we wanted to be the best. We source subject matter experts from all lines. I mean, the guy who is the locksmith, because you're doing surreptitious entry. Yeah. The long gun shooter who is a rancher who knows how to shoot prairie dogs, but spend his time doing that a lot and is going to bring you some kind of skill sets. Right. And that culmination is a powerhouse. The best thing that FieldCraft does is bringing people together over a common objective that's not toxic. Right. It's not political. Right. It's not divisive. It's built around preparedness, which, disaster is an equal opportunist. Yeah. I mean, we were operating at the tip of the spear with all good intent in mind, with the best trained, best equipped resources coming to bear, and you had those days where things fell apart. Yeah, man. So if you're prepared for the worst case scenario and you're doing that with your friends, family, and your community, you're setting yourself up for success. That's it, man. At the end of the day, it's not even about tactical training. It's honestly not about anything that you would recognize in business for FieldCraft. It's all about people. It's all about relationships. Yep. And I think that's the most important, and you're a staple to that. Oh, thanks, enough about Erica. Let's get off of Erica. Yeah. Enough about that. But I think it is important to highlight, like I did as a team sergeant or sergeant major in special forces, for my guys, their spouses, because let's be honest, if it was just us, we would completely destroy everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are savages. Facts. And we need wranglers. We need cowgirls to wrangle us. Yeah, well said. Yeah, we need that. And
I am 100% wrangled.
That's good. Yeah. I could tell you're whipped. I mean, wrangled.
Wrangled. Wrangled sounds better.
Yeah, it sounds better.
South Saharan thing. It's the kind
Yes. It is. It's like, I'm not whipped. I am wrangled. Yeah. Which means kind of like you're not being beat. Yeah. But you're being like a rope around your neck.
I still have Mustang tendencies. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or the potential
to. She yanks that rope and just. Yeah. But she's not whipping you. She's not beating you down.
She's just guiding the bridle.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Around your neck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
But you like that.
Is what it is. That's what I need.
I like that.
Let's be honest, dude. That's what we need.
We do. And I think every good man, I've always believed this, every good man is typically backed by a very good woman. Yeah. And that's important. Yeah. And I've found good women or a good woman in my life. And that's the key to our success.
Got to be a team, man.
Got to. Yeah. Got to. And for all you lone wolves out there on Tinder, get out of the cabin, man. Get outside, explore, get on Bumble, man. It's just a better option.
Yeah. Set your manifesto aside for a moment.
Yeah.
Get out there, go talk to somebody.
An actual person.
Yeah. Come talk to come to a FieldCraft class.
Exactly. I feel like we just did a Bumble plug or something. Like we're sponsored.
That keeps coming up. You got to do it. It's coming.
It's sponsored by Bumble.
It's coming.
I think it's interesting, your background and then this transition, and then how do you take 20 years of experience and kind of migrate into teaching civilians. So I was going to ask you we'll call this like the hot round of questioning.
Hoorah.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions revolving around training, and there is no wrong answers, but I want to get your perspective. All right. When it comes to training civilians, what makes it different than the experiences you had in training indigenous people to training people who are coming to you and they're paying to come to you?
Well, I think that the answer from that will come from the motivation. So we talked about this yesterday, our demographic, like our clients, our people who subscribe to the ideology that FieldCraft was founded on, want to be prepared for their families. It's not a nationalistic thing. It's not a forced thing. These people want to increase capability and be safer.
Yeah.
So when they come in with that mindset, it makes our job easy, to be perfectly honest with you. We're just conveying information at that point. I think that's the foundation of it, is that our clients are phenomenal.
Yeah. The incentives are different.
Our demographic is the ideal clients to train.
Yeah. Last year, FieldCraft trained 10,000 citizens. By my estimates, based on my understanding of the industry, FieldCraft trains more citizens in this country than any tactical training company in the United States, which is an accomplishment that is credit due to the hard work of our instructors and our training directors. What's your everyday carry, pistol, and why?
Glock 19 with a 17 mag.
So Glock 19
capacity.
That's what you're used to, single action only.
That's
what we carried in the CIF.
I've carried that thing everywhere. Actually, that specific pistol that I still carry hasn't been downrange at all. But that's
Is that an Iraqi stamp on that gun?
What are you talking about?
That's weird.
That's what. But that's what I carry. It's familiarity. It's capacity. It's kind of like a part. It's an extension.
Yeah,
me. That tool is an extension of me.
It's your third extremity below the waist.
Heyo, it's another. He's got all the jokes today.
Third,
look out.
Third. That's why it's a subcompact.
It's yeah.
I need to get you into a 10 mil or something, man.
Get that 35 or 34.
We'll get Erica. We'll ask her about that later.
Big hanger.
Yeah, I like how you swing that up.
Yeah, smoke wagon, dude.
I'm gonna get you into a SIG though. That Glock 19 is a piece of shit.
I like that 365.
The one I have on the table right now is this 365 XL.
Yeah.
I just got you one through SIG. Congratulations.
Greatest boss ever. No big deal.
I got you one because I know a lot of guys, even guys who work for us, use different pistols. And to be convinced of a change, you have to build a relationship with that tool. Consistency, reliability, repeatability, and you get it, no strings attached, because the company paid for it. You get it, you shoot it, you like it. You pay me $50 installments for about 7 months.
Heyo. No, so when we were doing the down select for the Legion, or for what ended up being the Legion,
yeah,
it was it was a open forum. Our training director Sean Kirkwood, who's really popular on Instagram. He posts a lot of stuff on there. Guys, go check him out.
Yeah. He's got three followers. His mom, me, and his uncle.
He won't even follow me. It's so sad. At any rate, he puts out, he's like, hey, guys, we're going to go to SIG. He's like, what do you guys want? And my literal reply to that was, I don't speak SIG, so you guys figure it out. When I received the weapon, started shooting, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
That thing is a machine, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
well balanced.
Yeah, it's incredible. I struggled. I was healing under initially because of the ergonomics of the grip.
Yeah. Not used to that.
The pitch is a little different but
yeah.
Now that I'm into it, that thing is incredible.
Yeah, well, I think you'll be satisfied with a 365 XL, and it's my favorite carry gun because I like slim fitting guns.
It's small.
It's thin. It's an inch thick.
Yeah.
Compared to an inch and nearly a half of a Glock 19.
Right.
And that is substantial when, I wear a size 34 waist, I got a belt on, and I'm shoving something down my pants, and it's like pushing out my belt line.
Profile reduction. And
all that.
Things.
Are you carrying appendix carry, or are you carrying else?
Appendix carry sometimes. I was actually talking to Dave Acosta about this. It's like, I really don't have a lot of experience appendix carrying.
Yeah.
It's like, because when I did carry low vis, it was at 3:00.
Yeah, that's what we always did.
So I actually had a conversation. I called Dave one day, and Dave just like, okay, here's the drills you need to do. Here's how you establish your 30-minute conversation. I didn't say anything. And Dave pretty much gave me the spiel, and I'm practicing it more. Mm-hmm. I'm getting more comfortable with it. But like I said, that 365 though is that I can see the profile reduction, and I don't know. I'm excited to run it. I like how the grip is longer on it, so you don't have the short grip like you do on some other frames and whatnot.
For us men who have big hands,
really comfortable.
Better.
So I talk to classes all the time. I'm like, Mike has giant bear paws, and I've got baby hands. Mm-hmm. So you guys,
I'm sorry.
I'm going to grip the pistol a little different than Mike does. But haters. It's great.
Yeah, but I think the appendix thing, me and Rick were talking about it, and we just didn't, our carry requirements kept us a lot on the hip because we were doing stuff out and about. But when I was in GRS with the CIA, I noticed, and especially doing mobile ops, like the alternative to doing mobile ops and carrying is you're transferring the pistol from your side because it's behind your seatbelt or behind your clothing, and you want ready access to pushing it into the center console or wedged in between the seat. And I don't like that because I don't like doing the in and out thing, especially in the parking lot of Walmart. So carrying appendix for me helps me establish a seatbelt, but I could expose the frame and still be comfortable because it's not sitting on my hip flexor. You know,
I got you.
And it's a good position, I think, especially if it's tilted down and away from your femoral artery in your leg.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
Yeah, it's important. Some guys like run at 2 o'clock and it's like sitting dug in their leg.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to kill yourself.
Yeah. So why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Let's talk about your mindset a little bit.
Right.
You've been through a lot of difficult challenges in your life and overcome a lot of adversity. And I'm curious to what your tactics are and keeping yourself grounded, calm, in a good headspace.
I think gratitude for me is the key, honestly. My faith is really important to me. And just being grateful for, we take a lot of stuff for granted in this country. And you've been downrange and you see what poverty truly looks like. You see people without. And just to wake up with a roof over my head, to wake up and have food,
And Miss Kentucky.
And Miss Kentucky. She makes that's kind of a given there.
Yeah.
But I don't take it for granted. But no, that's it, man. Honestly, it's the gratitude and just being thankful for all the things that I've been blessed with, man. And the people in my life. Like I keep a pretty small circle. Like I have a core group of friends from my old job that I keep in contact with on a regular basis. And I have my team here at FieldCraft, to be perfectly honest with you. Probably one of the best group of people that I've ever had the experience of working. And I've worked with some incredible human beings, and you have too. But man, all of the instructors here, at least on the firearm side that I've worked with and are familiar with, just incredible human being. I mean, we talk 2-3 times a week to each other. We check in on each other. It's like having a new team. Yeah, we're just at different fire bases.
I love that, man.
It's the truth, bro. Every person I've worked with on our staff they're like I posted yesterday in my story. They're like, I work with my heroes.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's the truth, man.
I feel the same way. Yeah. It's weird because I feel like a battalion sergeant major where I don't get to interact with the boys. And sometimes they come into town, I get to play with the guys. I'm like, hey guys, I'm cool still. And the guys are like, get out of here, nerd. Like, get back to your staff job. And so I go back to the computer and do my PowerPoints. But it's awesome to see that from a team guy perspective, because selfishly, when I built FieldCraft, the entire objective was to feel like I felt with more balance when we were on active duty.
More control. More balance, your strategy was just that.
Yeah.
What'd you tell me? It was 265 days on the road the first year or the second year maybe. Yeah. And it's come from that to there's 3 facilities here. There's one in Aberdeen. Yeah. 10,000 people trained. Come on, bro. Oh, yeah, the Dallas thing. I can't wait for that. That's going to be insane, bro.
You got to get you guys to move to Dallas. I'll be moving to Dallas. I'm actually going to buy a horse property north of Dallas, and I'll need a real estate agent, so you guys will have to get in front of me on that.
Come on. This is Texas. She's already.
Well, with the Frisco area where we're looking right now, we're waiting on approval from the Frisco building space, 13,000 square foot, SIG Pro Elite shop, Black Rifle Coffee shop, FieldCraft Pro shop, enough seminar space for 150 people, a back end to teach CQB to law enforcement and home defense, what we're calling close quarters defense for civilians.
We could run simulation flat range courses in the back.
Wow.
We got a dojo room, which Dave will be happy about that. And then we have media space and offices. So my team, Kevin Owens, will be going there once a week, 1 weekend a month. I'll be doing 1 weekend a month. Amber will be doing 1 weekend a month. And likely you guys will be doing 1 weekend a month.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
That combination with 7.6 million people who love America in Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That's awesome.
Is awesome, man.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible. Just real quick on Dave, I keep about a 5-foot safety radius in there because his hands and his knife stuff.
He's a killer, man.
He scares me, dude.
He like every time he goes to take a poop, he like stabs that dummy.
First time I met him, I'm like, "Hey, man, what's up?" Dude?
Yeah,
just keeping that space in there. You know,
you text him like, "Hey, man, what's up?"
Yeah,
like, I'm right in front of you. Like, I know, just keep your distance.
He's like standing right here.
Yeah, keep out the 21-foot range for like that close the distance drill.
Yeah, bro.
Dude,
you better extend that for old Dave.
Dangerous,
scary.
His podcast dropped today. I'm stoked about that.
Dude, I want to listen to it.
Yeah, it's on the Mike Force podcast. Dave Acosta, who will be we're at 99% as long as he accepts the offer of running the Dallas-Fort Worth Training Center. And the goal for FieldCraft is to evolve through the country, looking at demographics, looking at spots that are primetime real estate, where we have the following and we could start building patrol bases.
That's exactly
throughout the country. Yeah. Last questions, 3 of them.
Send them.
What makes you happy?
Her, my kids, my family. That's bottom line, dude. 100%.
If you had one day, because it was the last day, what would you do that day?
Oh, wow.
I just pulled that out of my ass just now.
That's pretty good.
Made that up.
All right, can I cut it in half? Because I would probably go skydive.
It's your last day.
I'd go skydive and I'd spend the majority of it with my family. But I'd take my family skydive. There we go. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we can go skydiving tomorrow. I mean, it's
done.
You don't have to wait till your last day.
Check. Right.
What is your favorite thing about Erica?
Favorite thing about Erica? Her kindness. She's so kind and so open and so understanding of people. She accepts me for me.
Barely, though.
Which is really difficult.
Barely.
Really difficult.
So
I have found someone I can spend the rest of my life with that I can be myself with.
Ooh.
That's invaluable.
And she accept that?
Yeah.
Good.
She said yes, dude. I tricked her. She fell for it, bro. That's why I tell everybody I won. I won.
Whatever it takes, man.
Whatever, at all costs. Bro.
Whatever it takes at all costs.
That's it.
What was your favorite thing about being in special operations?
The guys, man. I tell people, you've probably gotten it too. It's like, oh, you must have been a badass. And my response to that is, I wasn't a badass, but I worked with a bunch of them. Some of the most phenomenal human beings on the planet. And I can say that with all sincerity.
Yeah.
Such an honor to be amongst those guys. Just walking down that hallway every day, going to the range with those guys, and just, I miss it, but it's something that I've rebuilt out here.
Yeah.
Through FieldCraft, to be perfectly honest. I work with some of the most phenomenal human beings on the planet still. It's just not there anymore,
Yeah, different life. I always love how we think our lives are over when the military's over. A lot of guys are like, man, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
But it's like a new life.
It's
a new lease.
Man. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a new life. You nailed it, man. It truly is. A lot of crossover, a lot of commonality, but it is new, and it's so exciting, and there's no limit on the potential. I truly knew once everything got right here, I was like, I'm going to be, and this is not coming from an ego standpoint. It's not coming from being conceited. I'm going to be successful. I just don't. The degree of success is up to me. I surround myself with successful people. What I deem successful, and that has nothing to do with financial capability. I mean, obviously there's some financial freedom allows you to do the things that you want to do, but smart people sound, grounded people. And that's what we have here at FieldCraft. It's the truth, man.
I love that, man.
It's just the truth.
Thanks for that, man. That means a lot. And I'm looking forward to the training and all the future and all the things that we have to do. We got a lot of work to do.
We do have a lot of work to do.
The nation's not doing really healthy. And that's, I feel a obligation to kind of direct our assets like you and the energy that you and we have as a team to help the nation be better prepared, better positioned for those worst case scenarios.
That's the thing, man. Yeah. This organization offers a glimmer of hope for people that are sitting home watching the news or picking up on all that stuff on social media, all the negative stuff. You can decide how much energy you give towards that, or you can shift your energy to improve your situation. You know, the opportunity is there. You know, and FieldCraft's not the end all be all, man. But we are an asset that's available to anyone. You know, so I
love that.
That's where I'm at.
Thanks for that, man.
Yeah, it's the truth.
I appreciate you and appreciate Erica. You guys taking the time to come out here. If you want to follow Casey, and put Erica's stuff in there too, down in the links below, make sure you follow them on your Instagrams. What's your Instagrams?
Instagrams. It's casey.fieldcraft for FieldCraft, and it's hildreth.casey.
Hildreth, Hildreth.
Spoken from a Southern Saharan. Listen to that. I'm impressed. You know stuff, dude.
I know a little bit of stuff.
You didn't throw the A in there like most people do.
I know. So. I typically would do that, but I know the place that I'm at in my life right now with you.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
He's like, you know what? I wouldn't throw an A on him like that.
I would not do that.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome, man. It was fun talking about stuff with you.
Yeah.
And if you guys follow Casey and follow the guys from FieldCraft, make sure you come out and train with us. This will be on the FieldCraft Survival channel. I also got the Mike Glover Actual channel. If you guys are listening to this and you haven't hit the subscription or the subscribe, that's just dumb. You got to hit that thing because you can't get tuned in to the notification and knowing when guys like Casey do more content, because we're about to go out and do more content until he starts dry heaving as an indication that he's done.
It's awful. It's so hard.
We'll shut it down then. But we got more content to come from you, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and all your support. Thank you, Casey, for coming on the podcast.
Cheers. Thank you, Mike.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.